Give it a minute.
And we're live.
We're
Greetings, readers,
live.
travelers, and listeners alike. My name is Richie Stevens,
I am Joel.
and this is Chattin Stats. And guess what, Joel? It's our
It's the
first
first
episode
episode of the year.
We're missing Jess tonight.
Jinx.
Hey,
Yeah.
we're missing Jess tonight, but it's okay. She was feeling a little under the weather, so we want her to get rest. We want her to feel great, especially with this new strain of sickness going around. So obviously, feeling healthy is important, but it's not going to stop us from having a kick-ass episode because
We're kicking it off with a bang, dude. This
we're
month
kicking it
we're
off with a
doing
banger of
harem
an
month.
episode, and it's harem month,
Like,
and there's no pun intended with us saying a banger episode. So
oh, this is harem month. We're gonna have implied innuendos all the time.
Dude,
so
all the time.
just expect it.
It's gonna be wild. But
Why don't we introduce our guest for the episode?
that's what I was getting ready to do, and you cut me off, you dick.
Well, someone's got to do it.
Okay, fine. You introduce the guest. I'll just sit here.
All right. Introducing the
Deacon Frost.
amazing harem author. God damn it.
Deacon, welcome to Chattin Stats. We are so happy to have you on. And you were actually the first person we asked to do the Harem Month episode because I had talked to you about it at DragonCon last year at the RPG party, which was fun because you had your whole glitter beard going and everything. That thing was freaking awesome. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, glitter, like trash? He just had a bunch of trash in his beard?
No, he had like a bunch of glitter.
Glitter. Okay, I heard glitter.
Well,
like,
open your ears, Joel.
Yeah, it was something my my partner suggested as a joke in my audience Discord, and they thought it was hilarious, so I let them vote on the colors. And so we did split two-tone colors for the first year, and then again the second year we went with
that sounds epic.
The first year I did it, the Uber driver, for some reason known only to himself, decided to roll down the windows while shooting down the highway at like 60. So he blew glitter everywhere. It was like a stripper exploded in his Uber.
That's not coming out anytime soon.
No.
That is multiple innuendos right there. Just as a heads up. So, but no, this is pretty cool. We're going to talk about two different series. Joel and I both dived in to one each. I didn't have time to dive into both, sadly, because I moved. As you can see, this is not my normal setup. This is my new place, which Joel was so gracious enough to help me move over the weekend. Joel, thank you so much. I appreciate you. You beautiful
What can
bastard.
I say? I'm just awesome.
Okay, you got books out of it, so I don't want to fucking hear it. Anyways. So, yeah. Hey, Deacon, which series would you like to talk about first?
Well, I imagine the one that's probably the most popular is the Otherworld Academy.
All right, let's talk about the Otherworld Academy. Why don't you give us a little bit of a breakdown on what the Otherworld Academy is about?
So, the Otherworld Academy actually amusingly came out of spite because a Harry Potter fan was annoying my partner. And this idea popped into my head to basically write my own Harry Potter with anime and sex. So it's about a college student named Levi who, pretty standard isekai opening. He gets hit by a truck-kun and reincarnated.
But we got to talk about what led to him getting hit by a truck. The fact that his roommate at his college dorm busted a nut while he was trying to play Xbox. So
yeah, the first line in that book has gotten a lot of reactions.
I laugh every time.
I mean, it's an introduction. So, I mean, it just lets you let you know what you're in for.
Before the show, we had talked about life experiences affecting our books, and my first college roommate was that rude.
Oh no.
So that moment was based on semi-personal experience. I didn't get hit by a truck, obviously, but I did end up without a roommate.
I would have killed him. Like, I have the graciousness to at least wait till Joel's asleep. So,
I mean, that's just the polite way to do it.
I'm in danger.
oh no. So, but
I remember Marcus Slaw, Royal Guard Publishing, when they encountered the book and they pitched making the audiobook for it, Marcus died when he got that first line.
Oh, I bet. Which Marcus has some good books out there. I need to reach out to him at some point. We have a few of his in our libraries. I didn't realize he was Royal Guard.
Yep, him and his wife.
Nice.
They made Royal Guard because they got tired of some audiobook companies taking advantage of newer writers.
Gotcha.
And they wanted to offer more equitable contracts.
Gotcha.
Cool.
So, wow, didn't know that, but all right. I mean, I have way too many Royal Guard books in my library, so nice. So Levi gets hit by a truck.
Yeah, he gets hit by a truck. He wakes up in another dimension, in a whole new body.
With pointy ears. We should point out he has got pointy ears.
Yes, he initially they told him he was a Homo draconic. He was a subspecies of dragon humanoid. And I actually caught shit for the fact that he needed glasses, which he didn't in his human life. I don't know. Someone was deeply offended by that.
The glasses make everything better. I miss my glasses. I need to go to the eye doctor and get a new pair.
That's fair.
But yeah, so I riffed a lot on Harry Potter. The Magic Academy has different schools that each have a different role.
Okay.
There's some tie-ins there.
All right.
Eldritch horrors waiting to mess the universe up. Completely off the wall cafeteria, that sort of thing.
But you got shit for him having to wear glasses. I mean, I think glasses just add to the charisma, don't they? Like,
part of it was because I was riffing on New Evangelion by having him
push his glasses up.
The classic moment.
Anytime he's got to go ham.
Yeah, but there's one scene in the book where his glasses get knocked off during a fight, and he has trouble seeing for a moment. And apparently, dude got taken completely out, lost his affection for the book, and left a scathing review about it. So apparently, people with glasses can't fight. So
I'm sorry. Has anyone ever seen Bleach? Because I'm pretty sure Quincy absolutely floors Ichigo like the first time they fight.
It's the glasses wearing nerd turning into a badass is a pretty common trope in anime. So
Gohan wears glasses, and how many people does he floor? Like, come on, like it's glasses are. Oh my god, do people just get like that upset because it's like, oh, it makes you a nerd? No, fuck you. People with glasses are hot.
Yeah, I mean it's funny too because no one complained about Elizabeth having glasses.
Oh my god.
Right.
Oh my god.
But she's the love interest, not the main character. I don't know. Some people take their self-insert very seriously. So you never know what can trip them up. Maybe he was picked on. I mean, either way, I hope he found a book he enjoys.
I got picked on for wearing glasses back in elementary school, and I stopped wearing them, and then I got another pair in high school, and I was like, oh, hey, I'm here. And Joel went, oh, hey, look, glasses. That was the thing.
Yeah, I did think he was British at first because he had some. He was pretty tall.
Okay.
Some gross teeth and
hey,
like.
Fuck you. First off, fuck you.
Some glasses.
I just like the implication that glasses made him British.
Oh no! Hold on. So what happened was I was speaking in a Lancashire accent because we were doing a play at school that year, and while we were on the premise, if it was after school, we had to be talking in the accent. It was a bet that my friend Mary and I had going, and it was to help us stay in characters because we were the two that had an accent for the play. Because we were doing Appointment with Death by Agatha Christie. It's a great, phenomenal play. Amazing story. Love it. I was Alderman Higgs, and I don't remember her character's name. I just remember she was a stuck-up politician bitch, but it was awesome. So we had dialect coaches that came in. My dialect coach actually from Lancashire, and hers was from Yorkshire, which is where our characters were from, respectfully. So we had to talk in the accent, and whoever lost had to buy dinner. I'm broke. I'm not buying dinner, so I was making sure I wasn't going to lose. And thus, Joel thought I was British.
For like 10 minutes, then I had to think it through and was like, would they actually send a foreign exchange student to East High School
in Indiana?
From Britain?
Believe it or not, yes. Yes, they would, Joel, because we had quite a few foreign exchange students. We had a German.
Britain, though?
We had a German. His name is Christian, and I love Christian very much.
It is cool.
So yeah, that's that. I like academy settings. Okay, like academy settings are freaking awesome, and glasses make the academy setting much more fun. And like they're not like the super nerdy like Harry Potter like circle glasses either. Because you said it was a Harry Potter like a riff. It was just glasses.
Yeah, no, they were just regular glasses.
I find it funny like that these are the things that they have issues with. Like,
well, I mean, there's the guy that like trolls Matt Denneman on every time he releases a book because he just wants him to kill Donut off. So,
yeah, people can get really interesting obsessions.
Like, if I were gonna yell at you about your book, it'd be that you keep surprising me with sex scenes.
The sex scenes just come out of nowhere. No pun intended.
But I mean, that's kind of expected with like the harem genre aspect. But I don't know. I always seem to be on like a different mental tract, and then I just.
I mean, I'm gonna assume that maybe that's because I do try to keep a focused plot, so some people forget that it's actually a spicy romance until it happens, and they're like, "Oh, right, this is porn."
It's not porn, it's smut.
I mean,
of course, making that critique, it makes me sound like the guy who's like, "Oh yeah, I watch hentai for the story.
I read Playboy for the articles." That's
I mean, I watched High School DxD for the plot, so
right. It just makes me sound like that guy.
Yeah. But Joel, you're the one who told me about that anime, and we decided, yes, we are watching this for the plot because the mechanics in this are actually really fucking cool.
Yeah, actually,
High School DxD did slap. Let's be honest.
Slap some titties, but
I actually find it kind of funny because I came into writing from the erotica side.
Okay.
Like the first short stories and stuff I was publishing on Amazon were all erotic short stories.
Nice.
And honestly, like, I don't think the surprise sex scenes would be as bad if they weren't so explicit.
I don't go back in that regard now.
Yeah.
I find
them fun.
What killed me is one of the first reviews on Otherworld Academy's audiobook was a man who complained that Katana Jones was too good at moaning, and it got him in trouble at work. And I'm just sitting here thinking, why were you playing it at work over speakers?
I always listen with headphones in because I'm not an idiot.
So either he was listening with headphones and he just had very loud headphones, or he just had his audiobook like just playing on his computer or something. But yeah, like he just left this review like, "Oh, I got in trouble at work when moaning was going over." I'm just sitting there like, I mean, that's your life choice. I'm not sure that's my fault. And all I'm hearing is that my narrator did a really good job.
you got a good narrator. I'll be honest. You got a good set. So
I mean, I was actually blown away because it was Jonathan Water and Katana Jones, both their first harem books.
Gotcha.
Like neither of them had ever done harem before. And then like Katana got so popular that we were anxious about keeping her for every single Otherworld book because she started getting hired like rapidly, and of course now she's retired.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she left, which is why Nesting Day, the short story that came off after Otherworld Academy, is kind of an epilogue.
Okay.
That's why there's no audio for it, because we decided after 6 books and a short story that having somebody else try to narrate all those characters would just kind of upset people more than it would end up.
Yeah, I mean that's narrator changes are never easy, and especially with the series that has like a established fan base for it too.
Yeah, and Otherworld Academy blew up much bigger than anything else I've ever written.
It's a good series. It's a really good series.
Yeah, I mean, I did the math once, like with dividing up KU reads and ebook sales, and it was something like 17,000 people had read it.
Wow.
Yeah, it blew me away when I figured that out.
Is that just for ebook, or is that audio included?
No, that was not audio. It did very well in audio too.
The performances are great, and that's one of my big things is when it comes to like these kinds of books, like I prefer the dual narration, or actually, yeah, I just really prefer dual narration when it comes to these, just because it does add the immersion for it. Like, yeah, I'm there for the story, but also I'm just used to.
Yeah, I think hearing the back.
I think with such a large cast of females in harem genre, it definitely needs a female narrator just to have the differences in voice. That I feel like guys might be able to do a difference in voice, but I don't think they have as many like characters locked in.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think if you're going to do solo narration, you need to do the female, because I mean, especially if any book that contains explicit scenes, there's just some stuff you don't want to hear a guy moaning at you.
Yeah, that was my introduction to Tamer, and having Luke Daniels do it, and I was like, okay, I love Luke, but I can't do this. So I waited until Chris and Jessica did it, and they absolutely killed it.
Yeah, my first series, Avalar Explored, is just solo male narration, and people didn't like it.
There are a few narrators that I think do pull it off, just because of, I don't know if it's just the tone, or I didn't really even consider the books like harem until like we got to a scene. But I'll throw out Zach Johnson, and specifically with "I'm the Bad Guy" by Simon Archer. Absolutely fucking killed it. Didn't realize it was going to be spicy until we got to a scene, and I was like, oh shit, here we go. But Zach's also a good friend of ours, so we hype Zach up.
I think that's a sign of good writing, though.
Yeah,
like if people are into the story and they're not really thinking about what the subgenre is, they're just riding with the story. I think that's generally a good sign, because that's, you want to provide your audience an escape.
Like the whole premise of that one was like, guy gets offered by this big company to take down some streamers in this video game where they're the heroes, but they're actually really just the villains. And I was like, oh, cool. It's just a fun little lit RPG. And then I got into it a little more. I was like,
dude, even like chapter 2 had me.
Chapter 2 was fucking great. The defense grid
chapter. He made a tower defense sound absolutely epic. Which just is like, how? I love my tower defense series, but this got me sweating from a tower defense. like goddamn. No, but really good series. I did want to cover the magic. I normally cover magic, right?
Systems your thing, relationships are mine.
Yeah.
So,
you have an OP protagonist in
Otherworld
Academy. But most of that is his like emotional abilities. Like he has a different form of magic.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I love my OP characters, but if they're going to have like an OP ability, I like it whenever they're able to like earn it somehow. But whenever he like was developing his normal magic, I absolutely loved that part.
Yeah, I wanted with Otherworld Academy, one of the things I wanted to do was explain why certain souls had more oomph than others. And the whole reason that Levi was a demon lord was because he came from Earth and he was a very like emotional individual, but Earth had no magic at all. So when he got to the magical universe, his soul kind of sucked a ton in and it hid all that emotion in him, and that gave him power. But at the same time, because it's connected to his id, it's not really controlled easily. But the whole reason he was drawn to the academy in the first place is because he had a certain propensity for magic, and that turned out to be the beast taming. So I was running, I was trying to keep it straight, but I was running two different sets of abilities for him.
I think I just really enjoyed the training aspect of his like base magic.
It's really cool.
I mean, cool. Like I like drawing a lot from things I read, from shows I watch, from stuff. So I mean, like the beast taming, part of it was just because who doesn't want cute animals? And
I'm surprised that Rich like enjoyed this as much as he did, because he always rips me a new one about World Seed, where the main character like has a love interest with one of his beasts.
So that part I actually kind of enjoyed. It's just that one, it didn't fit for me. I don't know what it was. It wasn't for me. It wasn't my cup of tea. There were elements of the books I really liked. It's just that series wasn't for me. Not a bad series. Was not for me.
I mean, arguably, you could say that Levi does not actually have an active romance with any of his tamed beasts.
Also that.
I mean, the books have been out for quite a while and the series is complete, so I probably shouldn't be paranoid about spoilers. But
I haven't finished the series. I'll be honest.
I will preface, I've only read book 2.
You guys are missing so much.
I'm on book 4.
I'm going through Rider's Dragon series first. I've finished book 3 in Rider's Dragon, and then I'll go back to I'll go back to Otherworld Academy.
Nemesis was definitely fun to write.
Oh, it's so good.
I need to start it.
It's so good. So when did you release what order did you release your books?
So the first book I ever wrote was Accidental Incubus, is the first full novel. And that universe was actually based on a D&D campaign that I ran for my wife and our friends. Then I put out Saltwater's Weep. Then I wanted to try my hand at Dungeon Core, so Fall to the Forest.
That sounds interesting. I might have to pick that one up.
Yeah, it's actually a standalone. It's paid itself off, so I can't fully say it was a flop, but it definitely didn't pick up. A couple things people didn't like about it. It was kind of a modern Earth apocalypse back when that was first starting.
We do love
So
good
I'll let you
apocalypse
finish
stories.
this question, but after it, I want to know, what do you think your most underrated series is?
I'll keep that in mind. Yeah,
Danger.
after Fall to the Forest, I started writing book 3 of Avalar Explored, which was Tempest Tide. But when I started writing it, this itch started popping into my head, and that was the kernel of Ravenhouse. And unfortunately, sometimes when an idea like creeps into my brain, it won't leave, and I sort of start getting obsessed with it. So I actually pumped out Ravenhouse in 2.5 weeks.
Damn.
Okay.
My best day was 17,000 words.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Damn.
it's
That's a
like eight.
day right there.
Yeah, it's like 8 chapters just slammed down. Um, so then, of course, I had to go to my editor, Josiah Davis, who is awesome, and be kind of like, surprise book. And, fortunately, he did not have as much business back then as he does now, so he was actually able to do it for me. And that, I dropped Ravenhouse out of the blue, finished Tempest Tide, wrote Second Term, then put out Leviathan Below, the 4th book in Avalar Explored, then dropped Test Flight, which was the 3rd book in the Otherworld Academy.
Mm.
Made myself finish Avalar Explored off with Shadow Sovereign, which that one was rough because the series had started to dwindle in readership.
Okay.
But I don't like the idea of unfinished series.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So I finished that one off. Then I did Empire's run with Otherworld Academy. And that book blew all my expectations out of the water. After that, it was Nemesis. Then that moment when your brain's going dead and you can't remember the title of all your books.
You're good. I'm
Then it
looking.
was,
I'm looking
yep.
at your Audible right now. So
After that, it was the 5th book in Otherworld Academy, I Demon Lord. Then Siege for Rider's Dragon. Finished Otherworld Academy with Magi Reborn. Dropped Siege, Singularity Tower. Then Sect to finish out Rider's Dragon, Singularity Tower 2, and then I started my newest series, which is Hollow Earth Apocalypse, Ashes Fall.
That sounds
okay.
good too. I might have to pick that up.
And now my brain's going, what was that question again?
Oh,
Most underrated
what
book.
do you think your most underrated series was, or book?
So I hang out on the harem fantasy novel Reddit often.
Okay.
I like trying to keep in touch with what the readers are asking for, and a lot of people were asking for science fiction. So I wrote Singularity Tower, and the whole idea was kind of a homage to a lot of different science fictions. And I wanted to figure out how to do that, and I decided, I was in the mood for a tower climber book, but I wasn't really captured by any of the ones that I was reading. So I kind of went, I'll do it myself.
Okay.
And so Singularity Tower is about a guy who is wrongfully imprisoned and sentenced to an alien megastructure to harvest high technology material. And each floor is actually kind of an homage to a different science fiction series.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I thought it was going to pick up because, I was kind of trying to give a lot of people what they wanted. People wanted the older, more mature main character because they were tired of 20 somethings. So, the main character is a spacer who, he was traveling around the galaxy delivering cargo before he got imprisoned. People wanted a more macho MC, so this guy, he's more stoic, except for when he's talking to his love interests. I don't know. It never really seemed to catch on.
What was the name of the series?
Singularity Tower.
It's on our wish list, Joel. I just wish listed it for us.
Okay.
Science fiction's always, especially like lit RPGs, sci-fi, I feel like doesn't get enough appreciation. And I mean, there's quite a bit out there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, right off the top of my head, the first ones that come to mind are the Artem, the cyberpunk, which I consider that sci-fi.
Yep.
Then you have Stardivers by Stephen Landry. You have The Space Seasons by Don Chapman. Like there is sci-fi lit RPG, and I mean, hey, even like some high fantasy ones, Emerelia, the Trap Mine Project,
Bliss Online.
Yeah, like they dive in, but I just don't think. I think the sci-fi elements get overlooked so much.
Yeah, I had a great conversation with Bruce Centaur at.
Love Bruce. Bruce is one of our favorites.
Oh, he is a great guy. I've run into him 2 years in a row now at Dragon Con, and we've had some good conversations. And people were asking me why I haven't put out Singularity Tower 3 yet.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I said is I'd love to, but Singularity Tower 2 hasn't even paid itself off yet after 6 months, and I can't afford to put out a book that's going to put a series in the negative.
Right.
So, that's why I started Hollow Earth Apocalypse. Unfortunately, that one's done really well. But one of the things I was talking with Bruce when we were talking about, income drops, because I did not make as much money in 2024 as I did in 2023.
Yeah.
And one of the things Bruce pointed out is I took some risks because the Writer's Dragon, obviously the main character is not human. Yeah. Nemesis is a dragon through and through. Mm-hmm. And even though he has an elven form, he's not good at being an elf. I think it's fair to say he's still pretty much a dragon. And then with Singularity Tower, it's science fiction, and the simple fact is that it seems like science fiction, unless you are a very select group of mega authors, doesn't make as much as fantasy. Just for a lot of people, it seems like fantasy is easier to get into as a reader.
Yeah.
I feel like it makes a little more sense with some of the lit RPG elements, like systems, because you have like fantasy classes that are pretty key to like leveling up systems.
I think a big part of it is that D&D has been around for so long that people associate games with fantasy. Yeah. And while there are plenty of science fiction games out there, obviously, I don't think any of them have quite the same global reach that D&D achieved.
I would counter one.
Well, maybe two. Warhammer is an
not even them. I was gonna say like the Star Ocean games from Square Enix and Mass Effect. Joel, fuck you. You know Star Ocean.
See, I tapped into Mass Effect for Singularity Tower.
I didn't get into Mass Effect until Andromeda. I know.
But I would counter that by pointing out that Mass Effect's not really a tabletop game.
Okay, I was thinking more of the gaming elements.
Right, but the whole power of D&D is the fact that it's been played around tables in households since the 70s.
That's fair. That is fair.
If you only count the video game era, then definitely there are some sci-fi contenders who can definitely go toe-to-toe with fantasy. But if you push back further into like
the tabletop genre and stuff like that,
it's got me in trouble. In
Choose Your Own Adventures.
Someone asked for pre-lit RPG game lit books, like founding books that you could say push towards the genre. And I mentioned that the Dragonlance books were all based on D&D sessions. Dragonlance, Margaret Weiss, Tracy Hickman, they were big in the late 80s and 90s.
I've heard of them. I have not read them.
I mean, I grew up with them. I got my first job to pay for them. But the original books were all Dungeons and Dragons campaign modules that Tracy Hickman and Margaret Weiss and several other people played around the table. And the books were their games.
I see. Okay.
So when I brought that up in answer to somebody's question, I got yelled at by a mod. I don't even remember who it was, but they were like, "Why are you going back to all these really old books?" And I was like, "That was the question." but yeah. So I mean, I just think that that's what the advantage that kind of fantasy has over science fiction is you've got all those older people who remember those games from playing at around the table with their friends.
Yeah.
I mean, even Stranger Things taps into that
a lot
nostalgia.
Yeah. That was that way. I mean, that was the big selling point. And they even did like a Stranger Things D&D set.
Yeah.
That brought back the classic. Was that second edition?
Yep. Oh God, yeah. I think yeah. I mean, I played some of those. So
see, I didn't get to play D&D growing up because like it wasn't in when Joel and I were kids.
Yeah, my dad started me when I was 8.
Oh, I grew up in a military family. D&D.
Yeah, ours was
no.
See, my dad was in naval tournaments.
Okay.
There were D&D tournaments in the Navy, and that's
my dad wouldn't be like a D&D guy, but he played WoW. So I got to play WoW.
There you go.
And
I think computer games growing up was a big thing. Even like console games once they started coming out, and then
hey Joel.
Other than that, probably like what?
No fall damage.
Yeah. I was gonna say like skating. I got into skating a lot, like as a kid.
D&D I wasn't able to though. I didn't really have a group of friends that played it.
See, my parents
wouldn't get into D&D.
My parents wouldn't actually let us have video games because my dad bought into the Nintendos will rot your brain opinion. So I couldn't have like Nintendos or Sega or any of those in the house when I was a kid.
That's also a big rip in the chat.
Right?
That is a big rip. I miss my Nintendo. I had a Super Nintendo that we lost.
So what you're saying is you have all the consoles now that you have adult money.
I have a couple.
Yeah.
But
adult money is a scary thing, okay?
Yeah, I own more lightsabers than I really should. Let's just
I had a lightsaber and then it got destroyed in the move when I moved from Colorado back to Indiana, and I was big sad.
That is trash, especially with how expensive they are.
Well, it was the Black Series Revan lightsaber.
Yep.
And I loved that thing, and I pulled it out of the car at Joel's, and I was like, I hate my life. The sword survived, which I'm pretty sure it's still at Joel's house. Did you get rid of it?
I didn't get rid of it. I don't think I've seen it.
I left it in the closet. It was Sasuke's sword.
I have Sasuke's sword.
Yeah, that's the one I gave you.
Oh.
That's the sword.
Yeah. Yeah, it's over there.
That survived. The lightsaber didn't.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. So, yeah. Joel's just got an arsenal at his house now.
Who doesn't?
We went to Gatlinburg for my honeymoon and spent way too much money on swords, and I got a glaive, and I got that Witcher sword.
I'm just waiting for Joel to say he's got a Naginata.
I got 2 katanas.
I mean, if you're gonna have a Naginata, you gotta have Jez sign it.
I was thinking Shinhofen as well, but yeah.
Yeah, he does like that. I mean, to be fair though, it is a very efficient weapon.
It is. And I'm waiting for it to get added into like the next like Team Ninja game, like either Neo 3 or something. Because Naginatas are cool. I'm just ready to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. That's like all my brain is thinking about right now. That Monster Hunter.
Actually, the big game I'm into right now is Marvel Rivals.
I will play Rivals with you. I'd play
Rivals. I have to.
I just installed it on my PS5, so I had to restart from scratch.
I'm not hard to find. My handle is literally D Frost Writes.
I will add you. Mine is Chattin Stats on PlayStation. I changed.
Mine is Sir Valor Hunter.
So we're gonna get a Rivals stream going now. This is gonna be fun. Can't wait.
Stay tuned later tonight for the
later. No, I gotta go help Maddie clean some more before I call it a night. And
so, did you have any more questions about Riders Dragons?
I wanted to talk about.
We're gonna talk about dragons. Yeah, that's the next one. We still
let's talk about dragons.
I'm gonna be useless in this one, so don't worry about spoilers.
That's fine. I'll fucking
go all out. Go all out. I'll be here with the headset on.
Coming from Otherworld Academy, where I was like, wasn't my favorite cup of tea? Riders Dragon nailed it. Like, I fucking love how it starts out and like how it progresses through the series. There's like one moment that I will tell you about that threw me off, but the rest of the series just absolutely nailed it. At first, I wasn't even sure it was a harem. And then I was reading through it or listening through it, and we got to the point where he was actually meeting up with like some friends and forming a group to like a dragon flight, like a group of dragons to fight with. And I got to thinking, I was like, it's weird that we have names for creatures, like groups of creatures that don't exist. Like, you have like a murder of crows and like a gaggle of geese. We have like flights of dragons or like a clutch of dragons. And then as my mind is thinking through this, I just hear, and I grabbed her nipple, and I was like, God, what the fuck is happening right now? Wait, what? Who is he trying to bang? Like, what? So he ends up like veering off from his group and fighting this like dryad. Right. That's like the first like sexual encounter that he has.
Yeah, I mean, it's an assault, really. Like there's no other way to call it. His first encounter was an assault, and that was an interesting choice. But part of it was that some fans really can't stand inexperienced MCs.
Oh yeah.
They don't want to read about an MC who doesn't know how to touch a woman.
Yeah.
And so I got thinking about it, and I'm like, well, the dragon is psychic. Mm-hmm. But I don't want him just perving on people's brains, like, because he wouldn't be interested in mammal shenanigans, So it's like there wasn't really an in-character motivation for why he'd be skimming those thoughts and perving on people. So, it was one of those, well, how would this come about? How would he get any kind of sexual awakening that involves humanoids? Because, I didn't shy away from making Nemesis kind of speciest, to put it gently. So, yeah, he encounters a sentient, sapient plant that tries to honey trap him because it wanted to eat him. And, it had the collected memory of all the creatures that it had devoured, and it tried to kind of, use that on him.
Right.
And he had his bitch please moment and, ate it, which improved his cultivation and made him more powerful in the long run. But that also stirred to transfer a certain body of knowledge to him that would help him later on when he actually started developing an actual emotional resonance. But yeah, I can definitely
Geneva.
Take some people
Geneva
out.
Says hi.
Geneva's in the chat.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I will say his abilities make him really good at what he does. Between like the telekinesis and the mind reading and
Yeah,
the knowledge that he gets from the dryad, like there's a lot of synergies that go into making him really good at what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I've always loved the idea that people with powers would be creative with them. Like if you have supernatural abilities, why would you not use them
Yeah.
to make your partner happy?
Yeah. And I love how it's not like he doesn't just use it for like that, because he also can use his telekinesis. Because even though he doesn't have magic, he figures out how to use certain elements by being like, oh, I can see these tiny particles. What happens if I vibrate them? Oh, it makes a lot of friction and then fire happens. I have fire magic now
Yeah,
without using magic.
I wanted to make it clear that just because Nemesis's abilities worked on a different level, that just because his powers worked on a different level from magic didn't actually make him weaker. It's kind of like how his breath, his breath was a neurotoxin that was so acidically venomous that he could dissolve flesh and poison people at the same time. For some people, like I had one comment that he didn't feel like a dragon because they didn't feel that he was dragony enough, I guess, maybe because he wasn't breathing fire and creating mass destruction, because he was more of a one-on-one fighter than multiple target, but that's something he had to grow into.
Yeah.
But one of the big things about making him psionic was that it's not just peeking into people's heads. It's not just like picking up an object and putting it down. There's a lot more he can do with the ability to manipulate matter and make it move the way he wants. And the other part of it is that he's smart. So I mean,
Yeah.
having him experiment with how he can mold and move things with his mind, it's something I really wanted to show, because a lot of people can get really basic with certain abilities and they don't stretch them to be like, what can I do with this that other people aren't thinking about? Like when he was fighting hand to hand and he was using his telekinesis to mess with the ground and the limbs of his opponents. So like, when he was sparring with the girls and he was shoving their feet out from under them with telekinesis, or throwing himself into the air because his body weight as an elf was nothing compared to his psionics, so he could literally levitate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of tap some Jedi vibes in there. I'm not even gonna deny.
It's cool.
It definitely
I'm
makes
excited.
you
I'm
work
excited to
those.
get into this series now.
It definitely makes you work those what if muscles, which is one thing I love about really good mechanics in a lit RPG is you can always think of like, oh, he can do this. What if he used it this way or like this way? And like I think having a book that allows you to do that just makes it like a next level book in my eyes at least. Um, I will say one of the things that I also really enjoyed about Rider's Dragon instead of Otherworld is it seems like he was able to build up a romantic rapport with his partners before there were like any sex scenes. And I feel like I really enjoyed that aspect.
Yeah, I think part of the downside of having written Ravenhouse as fast as I did is that I didn't develop Knox and Levi's chemistry as fully as I would have wanted before I had them sleep together. But part of that is also that Nemesis is like my 11th novel, and Ravenhouse was my 4th.
I could definitely see where you have grown as a writer, like going between those two series.
Well, I mean, one of the reasons I gave my editor Josiah a shout out is because he's very good about pushing my boundaries as a writer. Like, he points out bad habits, yes, but he also likes to give me developmental feedback where he thinks, hey, I think maybe this scene could use a bit of massaging, flesh this out a little bit more, give more transition here. And I listen to him because I'm paying the man a lot of money to make my books better, and it would be dumb not to listen to him. And the fact that we've done 20 novels together, we have a rapport that when he says, hey, you should try fleshing this out a little bit, when I do it, it makes the story better.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
So would you say that was something that he was asking for?
Not so much him, but like there was a big movement in the fan base against fast burn romances. A lot of people were asking for more slow burn romance. They wanted more
like build up and everything,
right?
To it.
And Nemesis, you didn't really have a choice but to have a slower romantic pace because the first half of the book, he doesn't even have a human form.
True.
Like the first solid half of the first book is he's no bigger than a bobcat because he's a complete hatchling. Like, I had to do a time skip, which I was actually flattered because a couple of people complained about the time skip.
They wanted more of him in his hatchling form.
Well, yeah, they wanted him at the Dragon Academy. They wanted to see him going through more of those classes, going through more of the obstacle courses and the training. And I loved that. But if I focused more on that, it never would have turned into a romance.
So let me ask you this. Would you ever do like a short story or something about his time at the academy?
I could see myself doing it. I because I have mental health issues, I tend to be very regimented in my writing pace.
That's understandable.
Because to me, it's more important that I be consistent and I put out books at a regular pace. If I let myself get distracted by a lot of side projects, then I can end up completely messing up my own schedule. Now, sometimes a project, like I said, with Ravenhouse, sometimes it'll get into my head and I can't do anything until I get rid of it. It's kind of a mania. I had that happen over Christmas, and I wrote a 105,000 word novel in 10 days. Yeah, I was not sleeping much. Ironically, it's not even harem lit. It's harem, but it's not harem lit.
So, like, as someone who doesn't sleep, just got to ask, are you okay? Are you good?
I am now, but
which brings us to today's sponsor. Better, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We don't have any sponsors today. But no, like that's insane. 105,000 words in 10 days.
Yeah, because what it is all of my chapters are about 2,500 words.
Okay.
And to keep on my schedule, I try to write one chapter a day, minimum 5 days a week. That lets me put out a 40-chapter book about every 3 months when you count in editing, proofing, and whatnot. So it's about 4 books a year. Ordinarily, I'll have some manic periods. I'll end up getting that 5th book out, but for a harem author, that's on the slow side.
So
don't compare yourself to others.
Yeah, you are you, Deacon. When you pass a book off to your editor, do you start on another project or do you just wait for the feedback?
No, I almost always will start on a different project. I usually try to give myself a little bit of time off. Like, I'll take 3-4 days where I just do nothing.
Take care of yourself. That's important.
Yeah. I passed Hollow Earth Apocalypse 1 off to my editor this other story wouldn't get out of my head. I wrote it in 10 days. I passed that off to the editor. I got Hollow Earth, and by the time I got Hollow Earth 1 back, I was already 20,000 words into Hollow Earth Academy, or Hollow Earth Apocalypse 2.
Wow.
Which has already gone to my editor, and I'm in the process of revising it now. So
damn,
big hype.
November to now has been like a bizarrely productive period for me.
Okay. I gotta ask one more question before we start wrapping up, because I didn't get to contribute much with the Last Dragon Rider or Nemesis series, because I haven't read it yet. I'm sorry. I'm unprepared.
You should. It's fantastic.
Joel, fuck you. No one asked.
Everyone should read it.
Everyone
go get it now. Go read it.
I'm just going to point something out. Joel doesn't know this yet because he hasn't read book 4. If you get to the end of Rider's Dragon and you're paying attention, you will find an Otherworld Academy Easter egg.
Fuck yeah.
How far do you have to be into Otherworld Academy to get the Easter egg?
You said you got to book 4?
I am about to start
2.
book 5.
Joel won't get it, but you will, Richie.
Yay.
Okay.
Yay. I gotta ask, what's it like writing a monster, or not a monster MC, but I mean, I guess would Nemesis be considered a monster MC because he has the dragon form? Or
no, Nemesis is absolutely a monster MC. His mindset is completely inhuman. I guess for me it might be a little easier than some other people because I have autism and I've never really felt fully connected to normal society. Like there's a lot of stuff that people do that I just don't understand.
Okay.
So I've always kind of felt like an outsider looking in. And that's the mindset I take when I write a character like Nemesis. It's that sense of other. I just give it different qualities. Like for a dragon, it's pride, it's greed, it's a natural hubris. You know, that the world is mine.
Okay.
And I can see that.
So, right. So I basically apply my own why the fuck do people do this kind of vibe, but I interpret it through a lens of narcissism. Only, non-toxic for Nemesis. Well, he grows out of it. He's toxic as fuck in the beginning. He's a dick.
He's so toxic, his breath is acidic.
Yeah, literally, he'll melt your face. Which only one reader so far seems to have gotten. That's actually a reference to an old sci-fi series called... Oh, sorry, we just glitched out for a second. Yeah. Pip and Flinks by Alan Dean Foster.
Okay.
It's about a psychic boy with a flying serpent that could spit neurotoxin. And cool. the serpent was empathic, and so was the boy.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And Flinks became the inspiration for Flicks.
Okay.
From Otherworld Academy, the dragon that Levi tames. And then Pip formed the basis of what would become Nemesis.
Otherworld Academy, it's 6 books?
It's 6 books and a short story called Nesting Day. There's also, in the original Dragons and Damsels Haremlit anthology, there's a short story that goes in between book 1 and 2.
Okay.
And it's called Otherworld Vacation. That's actually...
I think I got that one on Kindle just to read that one.
Yeah, and the audio for that was Katana Jones and Jonathan Waters. And then when we did the omnibus, we included that in the omnibus.
Okay. So we have that then, because we have the omnibus.
Yeah, so technically the full Otherworld Academy series is 6 books and 2 short stories. Okay. Because Nesting Day takes place after book 6.
That's the epilogue.
Yep, that's the epilogue. Because there was something I was promising for most of the last few books, and emotionally it didn't feel like it fit into book 6, but I didn't want to leave my readers hanging.
I'm curious now, but I don't want it spoiled because I have a feeling, but I don't want it confirmed nor denied. So fuck. Why does Matt have to release a fucking book tomorrow? Why can't I just go through this damn book?
Big hype on that, by the way.
Yeah, big hype. Shout out Matt Denneman. Fuck you, Matt Denneman. We love you. Well, that does kind of hit our hour mark, so we're going to start wrapping up because I got to get some more cleaning done before I can call it a night, and I am already exhausted. Deacon, thank you for being on. We are so happy that you were able to join us tonight.
It was not.
We do a fun little segment at the end of our shows called Hey, What You Been Reading? But we took 2 months off.
Yeah.
So the list is long, and just give the shout outs to like the big ones, Joel.
Well, I've been reading a lot of Bruce Centaur.
Shout out Bruce Centaur. We'll just throw him out there because we love Bruce.
Yeah. Also went through Apocalypse Regression. That was really good. And Ultimate Level 1. I guess those are the main ones.
Okay.
Did I shout out Die, Respawn, Repeat?
I
don't know if I did or not,
yet.
but is also a fantastic book. Book 1 is out on that. But yeah, that's. Oh, and how can I forget? Fucking Gollum Master.
Fucking Gollum Master. Fucking
the book
TJ
series
Lombardi.
That had us in it. We were going to have him to start off the
year,
but
moving schedule and everything, it kind of threw a wrench in our plans. So
yeah,
we saved our first episode for Harem Month because February Harem. Woo!
It's all about love.
We should have
TJ is already in. I got
TJ on in.
He's the goal is March. The goal is March.
Yeah.
Because Ren is going to be our first episode in March for Dungeon Core 5. Because
I did read that as well.
Yeah. Shout out, Ren. We love you.
That one's on my TBR.
It's good. I loved it.
Oh, I've read the first 4 series. Or first 4 books.
I love anything she publishes, I'm gonna read.
Yeah, she is amazing.
We love her. She also told me to tell you hi. Because I told her we were going live, and she said, "Oh, tell Deacon hi." I was like, "Okay, I will."
That was one of the awesome parts about last year's Dragon Con.
Seeing Ren. Yeah. I got a big hug from her, and she handed me a pile of books. She was like, "Here." Yep. I was like, "Yay, books."
Yep.
So, speaking about books, Rich, what you been reading?
Oh God, Deacon, do you want to go? Do you want to give any shout outs real quick? I always wrap it up. So,
well, the last books I've read was Returner's Defiance 3, Bruce Centaur.
Hell yeah, good book.
Reading First Necromancer 2.
Is book 3?
That's Cold Fang, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, book 3 dropped 2 days ago. I finished it already.
The Kindle did. Audios didn't.
No.
Well, shit.
Yeah. So I should have said good series. I haven't read book 3 yet, but we wait for the audio specifically for that series because shout out Jessica 3 and Christopher Boucher.
No, we don't. Not today.
Joel, fuck you.
Not today.
You're getting Dungeon Core, or you're getting Dungeon Crawler Carl in like 8 hours.
So.
You patient little bitch.
Dude,
anything else you would
freaking love that series.
I mean, there's so many good books.
There are.
Definitely got to give a shout out to HB Holo, though. They are always super
supportive. They are
next
week's guests, so good thing you brought them up. Which they are sending us Blood Knight, Joel. She got the new address. She was like, "Oh yeah, I need it so I can send you Blood Knight." I was like, "Yay, yay!"
I just got it's on my shelf back there.
You just got book 3 because that was one of the books I had waiting for you. And you got
I have
freelancers.
1 and 2.
You do have 1 and 2. You
I
should.
have 1, 2, and 3.
Yep. And you should have freelancers now. Which is Jacob Hall's other book.
Yeah.
Fucking great. Not a harem,
That's the
but
other
it's fun.
book back there. I haven't slotted them in alphabetically yet because I just got them.
My books are still
Haven't sat down to do that.
My books are still in the tote. Deacon, I cut you off. I'm sorry. Shout out to the Hollows and Edie Sky.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then of course, Aaron Renfro is always an awesome guy.
I don't think I've read anything from them.
Never read anything.
I don't know. My brain is going blank. What did they write?
I'm so bad with names. Father of Constructs, I think, is his most recent series.
No, but it sounds interesting.
Now I got to check the exact title.
I'm curious now.
His big series is the Resonance War. But yeah, his most recent one is Father of Constructs.
Resonance War.
Subtitle: The Janitor Killed the World Boss.
Theater of War? The Resonance Cycle.
The Resonance War.
Oh. Resonance Cycle is another one from Aaron Renfro.
Yeah, I think I'm listing the title of book 1. Resonance Cycle is the actual series.
Okay. I'm interested. This sounds pretty good.
So that's one of the greatest things about this podcast.
Yeah, our TBR gets fucking buried.
Awesome books to read on our TBR.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you're going to write in a genre, you really need to read it.
Yeah. Hopefully.
We just like reading them a lot.
I mean, I appreciate
I haven't got around to finish writing it.
Well, I'll do my quick little list real quick. Physically, for books, I read Dragonstone Academy, book 1 from Timothy McGowan, and also his new urban fantasy. It was a little short story. I got a art copy of that. It's called Grimoire Shadow. Really good. It's really good. I love it, and I'm on my urban fantasy kick right now. Fighting Past the Pain, book 2 in the Heavenly Chaos series from
that was a really good one.
Daniel Shinhofen. Series. I say this with all the pun intended. That series fucks hard. That is a damn good series. What else? Theft of Decks. I did the audiobook for that by Lars McMuller because shout out Lars. And I'm on my deck building kick still. Can't wait for all the skills.
I totally didn't even mention
Demon Card
Enforcer and
we did at the end of the
Warlock.
We did at the end of the season.
I know, but I'm pretty sure I read them after our last episode.
Oh, I mean, shout out Demon Card Enforcer. Shout out the Snowballs. We love the Snowballs.
Yeah. Absolutely, shout out the Snowballs.
Let's see what else. Onyx Storm, because I'm on my dragon kick, and also I just really like the Imperium series because my girlfriend got me turned on to it. So, once again, Academies, Dragon.
I mean, safe to say I'm a pretty big Dragon fan.
I liked it. I really like that series. It's fun. I know some people give it shit, but I have fun with it. I think that's it. I should have read the EULA by Keegan Conley. Fun one. Really, really fun one.
He's a good guy.
Very good guy. Good friend. We like him a lot. I caught up on... I think that's it. Oh, I did read The Scarlet Blade, which is book 2 of Jack Field's series from Legion Publishing. First book, Scarlet Citadel. Then there's Scarlet Blade. I'm excited for the Scarlet War when that drops. Book 2, very dark, but really good. I really enjoyed it. That was a fucking book right there. And I can't wait to see Neil Helgers and I think it's Tess Irondale. Is it Tess? It is Tess. They do the audio.
I'm tempted to wait until book 3 comes out till I go back
dude.
to Skylock Citadel.
It's so good. I can't wait for the audiobook for book 2.
There's just so much coming out.
There's so much coming out. I guess I could say I started Quest Academy book 3, but I haven't yet because I'm making Brian wait. Brian can wait.
I've finished those.
Brian said my name is weird, so I'm just being a petty bitch. So fuck you, Brian.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's from Rich Dolphus Ironblood, you dick. I love you, Brian. Please don't yell at me. I'll see you at Lit RPG Con.
He's gonna put you in his next book again.
Oh no, I have a picture of Brian smacking me with a book.
You know, I thought it would always be a great honor to have your name in a book. But at this point,
save those emotions for
the
I
will.
Episode.
I'm just saying, at this point, please don't write me in any more books.
No, we put us in all the books. Put us in all the books because we're in the Artorian archives now, which is kind of cool.
Just imagine how awkward it is for Artorian and find names for love interests. I'm going, can't use that one. Can't use that one.
Can't use that one. Nope.
I don't want anyone to think I have a weird fetish, so no. I know this person in real life. No.
Yep. It's like, hey, just so in case you read my next book, you didn't. You didn't.
This was not about.
Looks like I'm writing my next book in like some elven land, and they're all gonna have elvish names.
We're gonna look up a random fantasy name generator for this next book.
Yeah.
It gets that way sometimes because some of the most common names, you're sitting there like, I could use this, but I'll be hunted down by someone who's convinced it's about them.
Oh, fuck. Well, Mr. Deacon Frost, it was a pleasure having you on tonight. This was a fun episode. Thank you for kicking off not only Harem Month, but the first episode of the season. I know you said you were nervous.
I mean, I'm always nervous. It's a condition.
I told you were going to do great, and it was a fun time. We're just a group of people that like to talk about books. Some banger books, but books.
Yep.
Thank you for having me.
Have good, everyone. Have a good. What?
Tune in next Sunday, or this coming Sunday, the 16th, for an episode with Edie Sky, Jacob.
You mentioned that.
And HP. I'm just making sure, Dick. And then we
mentioned that. We've said what needs said.
Yeah, and then we have another episode lined up. I just got to get confirmation.
Okay.
So, yeah, Joel.
So don't tell him about it yet.
I'm going to throw hands with you. I'm going to throw hands.
Do it. Come through this computer Joel, right now.
I'm trying to give you a good cutoff point. Just cut us off while I'm in the middle of a sentence.
Oh,
I hate you.
All right.